What's up, everybody? Jordan Stewart here from Vover. Thanks so much for tapping into the Vover original show. Just a reminder that if you want to drop your opinions about the episode or respond to the host and guests with your voice, go and download the Vover app wherever you get your apps. Vover, voice over everything. Enjoyed the show.
What's up, everyone, and welcome to Vover Sports Daily. I'm Frank Hrelja, the host of the Vover Sports Card Show, and today we have to talk about USA basketball heading into their third exhibition game tonight, because I hear a lot of people right now trying to justify why the U.S. has lost their first two exhibition games heading into the Tokyo Olympics, and they're absolutely wrong for justifying it at any level. So heading into this year's Olympics, USA basketball decided to host some exhibition games with tons of different countries coming to play before the Olympics in a couple weeks from now. In the first exhibition game, the U.S. played Nigeria, which, if those of you that don't remember, back in the 2012 Olympics, USA basketball beat Nigeria 156-73. Now, this Nigeria team today is better than what it was then. You guys like Josh Okogie, Precious Achiuwa, real NBA guys, but they still have no business beating the U.S., but that's what they did on Saturday night. Nigeria won 90-87, and everybody tried to push it off, saying they caught the U.S. slipping, they're just trying to get right as a team, they'll be fine. But after what we saw last night, with the U.S. team losing again to Australia, now being 0-2 in exhibition games, it's time to call it as it is. This is a complete disaster. What I heard Greg Popovich say after the game last night really frustrated me, because he was just not telling the truth. Popovich said after the game, when you just mentioned blowing these teams out, that's never happened. So I don't know where you get that. Greg Popovich was insinuating that the U.S. national team doesn't usually blow teams out in the Olympics. This just isn't true. If you look at the Redeem team in 2008, they had 0 games within 10 points. The only game within 20 points was the final, where they beat Spain 118-107. If we look at the semifinal game, they won by 20. If we look at the quarterfinal game, they beat Australia 116-85. If we look at the 2012 Olympics in London, the U.S. found themselves only winning by 7 in the final against Spain, but in the semifinals, they won 109-83. In the quarterfinals, 119-86. But in the first round, they did have one close game against Lithuania, where they won 99-94, which was a really close game for no reason. But you go to the game right before that, they beat Nigeria 156-73. They beat France 98-71. They dominate everybody. The U.S. has really only had one true competitor since 2008. And I don't want to count the 2019 Basketball World Cup, because the best two players in the U.S. were Donovan Mitchell and Kemba Walker. So I don't want to say that the U.S. losing in 2019 is indicative of what's happening right now, because it's not the same roster, it wasn't the Olympics, we didn't hold to the same level of importance. But looking at this USA squad, if we look at the best 5 that they could put out, Dame, Tatum, Bradley Beal, KD, and Draymond Green, we can then look at the Australia team that beat us yesterday, composing of Patty Mills, who's a bench player on the Spurs, Matthew Dellavedova, who's no longer in the league, Matisse Thybulle, who's a bench player on the Sixers, Aaron Baines, and then Joe Ingles is good. I'll give credit to Joe Ingles. He's a solid player in this league. But you could not tell me that this team should be coming close to the USA team. If the ideal starting 5 of this USA basketball team of Dame, Tatum, Beal, KD, if they were together on an NBA roster, they would be by far the favorite to win the championship, and they would literally win 75 games. We then look at this Australia team, they would be the worst team in the league. Their best 2 players would be Joe Ingles and Matisse Thybulle. They would be awful, probably winning 15 to 20 games total. So the fact that this is justified at any level just doesn't make sense. The U.S. got embarrassed in the first exhibition game against Nigeria, literally beaten by 70 points back in the Olympics in 2012, then found themselves losing. The U.S. tried in that Nigeria game. This USA team tried yesterday against Australia. They just couldn't win. And the next argument we're going to hear is that the world is catching up. Yes, the world is getting better at basketball at a faster rate than the U.S. is. That is fair. It is also important to note that if you look at the top 30 players in the NBA, 25 of them are U.S. basketball players, 5 international, and the 5 international guys all play for different countries. So yes, Giannis, Luka, Jokic, and Embiid, they're great international guys. But you have to realize that all of them would be on their own individual teams. You look at a guy like Rudy Gobert. He's playing for France. They don't have NBA superstars the same way that the U.S. does. 2 things can be true at once. We could be seeing more international stars and truly great players in the game of basketball, but they shouldn't be able to compete with the U.S. given the talent that we have. And I understand we don't have some guys right now. We don't have LeBron, Steph, Kawhi, Harden, Anthony Davis. We could have even a better roster right now than we do. But if you look at our starting 5, if you look at the top of our roster, they're all NBA level guys. There is no excuse to be losing to anybody. I don't care if it's the Olympics. I don't care if it's an exhibition. And you can cry about chemistry, but I don't think that Australia team has great chemistry either. They have 7 new players on this team. They've had multiple coaches in the last couple of years. You think Matisse Thybulle and Joe Ingles automatically have great chemistry? No, they're playing good system basketball. They have guys that are filling different roles, and it works. We have nobody on this USA team besides maybe Draymond who's willing to play tough, gritty basketball right now. I love Tatum. I love Damian Lillard. I love Kevin Durant. But they're playing isolation basketball right now, and they're finding themselves losing to teams that are significantly worse than them. And the thing that frustrates me the most is this roster is composed so poorly that I don't know how we could really fix our deficiencies. We don't have size. Who are the bigs on this team? Bam Adebayo, Jeremy Grant, Draymond Green, and Kevin Love. We have 0 interior presence, and understand that some of the best bigs in the league, like Jokic and Embiid, are international guys. Maybe Anthony Davis preferred to take the offseason off to rest and recover. You still could have had guys like Miles Turner, Jared Allen, who could have played great defense, been rim protectors, 7-footers who set screens, and do a lot of the dirty work that these superstars don't want to do. Tonight, we have our third exhibition game against Argentina, and if the U.S. does not win this, we go 0-3 in exhibition games. Everybody should be mad because this team and this USA basketball program is not living up to the expectations that are set on them. So I appreciate you listening to Vover Sports Daily. I'm Frank Hrelja, the host of the Vover Sports Card Show every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I'll see you guys next time.
Vover!